if Ornitha and Hillary can join, then we'll just loop them in. Okay. So I'd like to call to order the Detention Facilities Oversight Board meeting for May 22nd, 2023. Oh, there's Hillary. Hold on. I'm just going to give it a minute so Hillary can connect audio. Okay. I'd like to call to order the Detention Facilities Oversight Board meeting for May 22nd, 2023. I'd like to start with a roll call. Please put your camera on when you vote. I, Janice Mensa, am here. Barbara Baker.
Here.
James Dom.
Present.
Vice Chair Reverend Gerald Gray is not here. Tom Lawson.
President.
Ornitha Lewis Walls is not currently here. Mike Milton.
Present.
Hillary Stuckey.
Present.
Thank you. And Secretary Pam Walker.
Here.
Sounds good. I just want to check. Do we have someone to do? Oh, Pam, are you doing notes for this, or would you like a staff member to do notes?
Staff member does a lot better job than me.
Do you have a staff member that could do notes for us this meeting?
Yeah, and since it's being recorded, we can have a staff member,
Okay.
like just go from the recording.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make sure to do roll call votes then. Okay, so the agenda is as follows. The welcome and call to order. Next, the approval of minutes from 4/27. Then talking about Commissioner Brumman's resignation. Then motion to close a meeting pursuant to 610.021 section 1 for discussion of legal actions, privileged or confidential communications. Then we'll return to open session. Then a discussion of board members' terms, then new business, next public comment, and then adjournment. Do we have any additions to the agenda or thoughts for what might be brought up during new business? All right. So we've done the welcome and call to order. Did anyone not get a chance to look at the 4/27 minutes?
I didn't get a chance to read them. I didn't.
Okay. We can look to approve those at the next meeting. Yeah, so if you can look over those by the next meeting. Otherwise, were there any other, for those who did review them, any other additions or corrections that you noticed? Okay, sounds good. So we'll postpone those. And then, okay, next is Commissioner Brumman's resignation. Matt, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Yeah, I hated to do it. But as I explained in my email, I just got to the point where I don't believe that between the corrections commissioner, the city councilor's office, that we're going to be able to do effective oversight, because we need information. We need the reports in order to do it. And I know, and we can get into the particulars, and I can get into specifics in a closed session if you'd like about some specific reasons why. I know we haven't done orientation. We don't have rules and procedures in place. I'll just say we do have rules and procedures in place. We're willing to adapt them as needed. It was never clear what was needed to adapt them. We are in the process of doing the orientation, but that was exactly what was being obstructed by the commissioner. And so I just, unfortunately, I just couldn't see a way forward. And so I think it's best that I step down and I mean, it's been almost a year. I started in June of last year and just have not received any cooperation or way forward that I see. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. If anybody has any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them either now or one-on-one. I mean, I believe in this work. This work is super important. And you all have been a terrific board to work with. I mean, it's just been way more than could have been reasonably be expected. You all have just been fantastic to work with. And I'm going to miss that part of that as well.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I think I speak for all of us when we say that you have been incredibly helpful and have supported the board in every way that you possibly could. I was terribly sad to see that you were resigning, but in your reasoning, I completely understand. I think we've all been kind of working at we're staying and trying as long as we possibly can, as hard as we possibly can, and also knowing that there's a limit to working for something as important as this and just getting obstructed at every turn. I see Tom's hand is up. I want to say that we have like the next agenda item that we can go into a closed session to discuss some of the more specific legal actions, privilege, or confidential communications related to this. But I also wanted to say, just for members of the public, if they're not aware or haven't read the couple of news articles that have come out, Matt resigned effective the end of May. Yeah, I guess that's really the only news that the public might not know. And then Tom.
You've already clarified something that I wanted to bring up, so we're all good. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Are there any other comments or questions board members have while we're here with the public? Otherwise.
Well, and I just want to clarify that Ruby Bonner is the Deputy Commissioner of Oversight, and she's going to continue on in the near future in that role.
Great. Sounds good. So that would be like, in terms of following up on the things we've requested or sending out official communications, like how we did the letter to invite the mayor, things like that, Ruby would take care of.
Yeah, she actually did the letter that to invite the mayor. That was all her. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruby. James.
Yeah, I wanted to say, as someone who has resigned a post with the city, I'm disappointed to see you go, Matt, but I understand. That's essentially what I was told when I resigned my post as well. It's disheartening. You've been a stalwart ally to this board. You've been nothing but helpful as our liaison with various entities with the city. And I personally am questioning the viability of my position on this board or the board in general. If someone with your experience has come to the conclusion that this has been a dog and pony show the whole time, and it's all just been very disheartening, and I'm seriously considering my position on the board.
I hear you, James. Are there any other comments or questions while we're here with the public on this, or would someone like to bring a motion to go into closed session?
I like the motion. We go into closed session.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, hearing a second from James.
I think we have to amend that before legal matters we have to cite the section.
Okay, gotcha. So Tom, could you restate your motion using the 610.021 section 1? Do you have that, or do you want me to?
I think you just cite the reference. That's enough.
Okay.
Okay, so Tom's motion, I can cite it for Tom, or?
Yeah.
Okay, Tom's motion was to close the meeting pursuant to 610.021 section 1 for discussion of legal actions, privileged or confidential communications. And then James seconded the motion. Also, Ornitha is here now. So whoever's sending us into a breakout, make sure you grab Ornitha. They're under K925G. And then for the public, we'll be back in.
And can you let Answar know who you want in the breakout room?
Yes.
Or do you
yes.
want, I'll text you his number.
Okay, I could probably just
Yeah, however you want to do it.
say it right now. Yeah, if you, so there's 1, 2, 3, there should be 8 board members plus Matt. If you could send those people to the breakout room.
So I just want to say hello. I'm Nancy Walsh from the City Councilor's Office. So
Hi.
Barb could not be here today because she wasn't
Okay.
aware of this meeting until today,
Oh.
I believe, and she has another board that she's representing right now. So you
Okay.
let me know if you'd like me to join your session or not.
Okay, sure. I think we're just gonna do the board members and Matt.
Okay.
We should be back in, I would say 15 minutes to be.
Sure.
Yeah. And Answar, if you want to send me to the breakout room last, I can make sure that we've got everyone we need. I can't see Answar anymore if there's like an issue with the breakout.
I'm right here,
Okay. Are you able to send us to the breakout room for the
I'm
closed
on-
session?
moving them now, moving you
Okay,
now.
great. Thanks. And Nancy, do you have the same position as Barb with the city councilor's office?
Basically, we work on the same team.
Okay, I actually don't know what Barb Burkett's position was, so if you could say what your position is.
Sure. So the city councilor's office has people that do lots of different things. She and I both are on the contracts and special projects team, which is basically transactional work as opposed to litigation and
Gotcha.
advising different departments. And I'm an attorney manager of that group.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think maybe this is the standing appointment / day that Barb Burkett can do. Okay, I'm gonna hop out into the breakout room.
Yes,
So Answar, I'm from the city councilor's office, but they did not want me to join the breakout room, but I maybe you have one more board member to switch over.
Okay, so I'd like to call to order the detention
Where everybody else at? I don't see nobody but me and you, James.
Yeah, that's a little funny. I thought we did everything right.
Me too. He was taking us back to this room, but I don't know where Janice and them went. Here they come.
Okay. So this is main session, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7. So we have all the board members here. Okay, so just to clarify for any members of the public, we're back from the closed session, now in open session. So the closed meeting part is done. Okay, it looks like since this is the return to open session, I think any motions that are not related to the rest of the agenda, which is the board members' terms, new business, public comment, and adjournment should go now.
Okay, I would like to make a motion, but before I do, I want to say this in light that we are still hearing to this day from families, from people incarcerated, that there are in 23-hour lockdown still going weeks without showers. We heard this week that the air conditioning was out in CJC and one young lady passed out and bust her lip. We have been working diligently to do everything possible to fulfill our mandate, to hold the jail accountable and to investigate the conditions of CJC, given the fact that 6 people died last year inside of this facility. And then we just lost our leader of this board. And he left and he resigned because he saw no clear and convincing way that this board has the purpose of functioning the way that it's supposed to. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion that this board drafts a letter to the commissioner and to the mayor to call for the resignation of Jennifer Clemens Abdullah.
Really quick, before we get a second, Mike, would you like to amend or just restate that motion to include the interim public safety director as someone the letter is going to?
Yes, I would like to amend the motion. I would like to make a motion to draft a letter to the interim public safety director, the mayor, to call for the resignation of Jennifer Clemens Abdullah.
Okay, so sorry, just that time that you said it, you didn't include Commissioner Jennifer Clemens Abdullah. So do you want it going to all 3?
No, I wanted to go to the mayor and
okay, perfect. Then you said it correctly. Okay, so the motion is to draft a letter on behalf of the board to call for the resignation of Commissioner Jennifer Clemens Abdullah, and that this letter will be addressed to the mayor and to the interim public safety director, Charles Coyle. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second it.
Tom Lawson seconds. Is there any discussion? Doesn't need to be, but if there is. Okay, so we're ready to take a vote. We'll do a roll call vote. And let me just mention for the public, board member Hillary Stuckey had to leave the meeting during the closed session because she has another appointment. And then Matt Brummond, our current commissioner of this board, or director of this board, that'll be more clear, had to leave for also another appointment. So roll call vote, James Dom.
Aye.
Pam Walker.
Aye.
Ornitha Lewis Walls. I see she's trying to get it off mute. If there's a host who could possibly unmute for her, that might be helpful.
Aye, I'm sorry.
Thanks. No worries, Ornitha. Barb Baker,
Aye.
Mike Milton,
Aye.
Tom Lawson.
Aye.
Okay, that's everyone. 7 ayes. The motion passes. Are there any other motions before we, Pam?
Yes, this board has been in existence for almost a year. And in spite of our attitude of cooperation and concern and passion, we have been unable to fulfill our mission and our mandate because barriers have been placed in our way. Some of them personality, some of them legally, some of them by ordinance. And I would like to make a motion that we invite every member of the Board of Aldermen to meet with us as a board, to hear our concerns, to identify barriers, and to help us through ordinance, our appropriations, our other means, remove those barriers.
I just want to check, Tom, did you have something related to the wording of that motion or?
No, it was something else. Let's stick with what
Okay.
Pam has right now
Okay, so.
and then come back.
Sure. So Pam Walker's motion is to invite all members of the Board of Alder to meet with the DFOB to discuss, to meet with us, correct? Just restating for the notes later. Okay, do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, Tom Lawson seconds. Is there any discussion? Okay, I'll do a roll call vote. Aye if you're in favor of the motion, no if you're not in favor. Tom Lawson,
Aye.
Pam Walker,
Aye.
Ornitha Lewis Walls,
Aye.
James Dom,
Aye.
Barbara Baker,
Aye.
Mike Milton.
Aye.
Okay, that's everyone. 7 ayes, no nos. The motion passes. It looks like our next. Okay,
Chair.
Tom, yeah.
With the 7 ayes, is that considered a unanimous decision?
That's a good Robert's Rules question. And Ruby, do you have an idea on that? I know that in one of our letters before is your question about this because we're going to do a letter on this?
Because, yeah, I wanted to know if this would be something that could be stated as the board was unanimous in its decision.
Okay. Well, I know in one of our past letters, we didn't have everyone vote, but everyone who was there voted and said aye, and we said that it was a unanimous decision.
Okay.
7-0. We did it like that. So I think that should be fine.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can move. Okay, we can move to the next item of the agenda, which is a discussion of board member terms. Okay, so this actually speaks to one thing that Pam mentioned, which is that on the city website, it says that our start date is January 20th. Ruby, I just saw you come off mute. Did you want to say something about this or?
Yes,
Okay, great. You got the floor.
thank you. Matt did in fact ask me to pursue your question with the mayor's office. And so I was in touch with Sarah Baker, who is handling boards and commissions now for the mayor's office. And as we had discussed previously, even when the terms are expired, board members serve unless and until they are replaced. What Sarah also said was that the mayor can also do the reappointments for those members whose terms have expired. And she indicated that was board member Lawson and board member Stuckey, who were appointed by the mayor. They're prepared to do those reappointments at any time. Board members Lewis Walls and Chair Mensa were appointed by the Public Safety Committee or the Board of Aldermen. And she indicated that she would reach out to Alderman Narayan and ascertain how he would want to proceed. I was hopeful, I let her know that we had a special board meeting for this evening, and I was hopeful that she'd be able to get in touch with Alderman Narayan, but I did not receive an email in response, so I can continue to follow up with that.
Sure.
Go ahead.
If you could give Sarah Baker my contact to reach out to me, because I believe that we did a random drawing of what the terms would be, since they're staggered 3 years, 3 for 3 years, 3 for 2 years, 3 for 1 year. And I don't think that Hillary Stuckey's term has truly expired. I think that was an error on the website, because the three of us with 1 year terms are myself, Tom Lawson, and Ornitha Lewis Walls. And that's in one of our past meeting notes. That random drawing was done by the mayor, I believe, or maybe it was Matt, I'm not sure. But anyways.
The drawing that occurred at your first meeting?
Yes.
Matt, I think Matt did that.
Yeah.
I recall that meeting. I will bring that to her attention as well.
Okay.
That there seems to be some conflict between those terms that DFOB board confirmed and the ones that are listed. Now, I assumed that she had looked at whatever the mayor had in her office, and I'm not sure what she's using as the barometer for when your term started.
Yes, I think what she's using is whatever the site also uses, which also has an error where it says that our anniversary or the start date of our terms was somewhere around January 20th, 2022.
Correct.
Which is also on our certificates, but I believe that's when we were appointed or something like that, but we're actually starting our term dates from when we were sworn in, which is July 20th.
And that was consistent with the ordinance, with directions in the ordinance. So, okay, I will do both. I will give her your contact information if I have it. I'm sure Matt has it, right? But he won't be back until next Wednesday, I think. So if you want to shoot it to me in an email, I'll make sure that Sarah gets it.
The questions or my information?
Your contact information that you want me to give to her.
If you could just give her my email, that should be fine.
Oh, okay. I do have that.
Yeah, and Ruby, it should be in our minutes from the first meeting.
It is, right. I'll go back.
You might share that with Sarah too.
Okay. Will do, because I am looking at the website terms now, and it does show, it shows on here that board members Baker, Gray, Walker, Dom, and Milton's terms end January 20th. Well, no, the first three board members, Baker, Gray, and Walker, it indicates on our site, your terms end January 20th, 2025. Board members Dom and Milton's terms end January 20th, 2024. And it shows board members Lawson, Lewis Walls, Chair Mensa, and Member Stuckey, all terms ended January 20th, 2023. And each of those four are serving beyond their terms. So I'll continue with Sarah. She's pretty accessible.
Okay.
And
Great.
we'll see if we can't get some clarification on those conflicts as well as whatever she can learn from Alderman Narayan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's interesting to me that we have to start everything over because of the new ordinance, except for the term limits.
Yeah, and that's the other.
It seems to be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like we can probably table any discussion or questions until we get Sarah Baker's clarification, because that'll probably affect this a lot.
Okay,
So we can, thank you very much, Ruby.
you're welcome.
We can move on to new business. Is there any new business? Otherwise, we just have public comment and then adjournment. Okay. It looks like we're moving on to public comment. For any of the members of the public who want to speak, you will each have 3 minutes to express your opinion or ask questions of us, of board members, or the Division of Civilian Oversight staff. And I will keep track of that time. If you want to speak, if you could just either, if you know how to use the emojis, raise your hand through that, or if you turn on your video, if you could turn on your video and just put your hand up, I'll keep track of in order who wants to speak. Okay, so I have 2, and I'm jotting their names down. Okay, so I see Charles wants to speak, Rhonda I saw next, and then I saw Keith. Okay, so let me just get my timer up really quick. It's 3 minutes, and I will just flash on the screen like this when you have 2 minutes left, and then when you have 1 minute left. Charles, you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Charles Coyle, the Interim Director of Public Safety. I won't need 3 minutes. I just have a question. If the board intends to complete the orientation, I know you guys have about 5 legal topics that have to be gone through before you do that. Can someone respond to that for me?
To be clear, is the question, do we intend to complete our orientation?
Yes.
Do any board members want to take that? Or would you like me to answer?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Because for some reason I fell off and had to get back on.
Our understanding, sir, was that
Sorry,
Commissioner
James.
Drummond was attempting to.
James.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barb just asked if we could restate the question before you make your comment. The question from Interim Public Safety Director Charles Coyle is, does the board intend to complete our training, including 5 or so legal matters? And then James has an answer.
Yes, sir. I apologize. My understanding was that Commissioner Drummond had been attempting to coordinate with Public Safety Corrections to get us lined up for that and had not had much success.
Thanks, James. Other board members?
Can I follow up if you don't have any other board members?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've indicated that we'll do whatever we need to do to move this forward. But it's been a year, and every time we do what we think we need to do to move this forward, something new comes up that we haven't done, that they say we haven't done. So clarification from your end would be really nice to have. You know, a clear outline of what the expectation is and the timetable to get it done. And we are more than glad to cooperate in order to gain the information that we need and the access that we need to fulfill our mandate.
Mike, I saw you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off Pam. We've always been willing and able to do all the orientation trainings, but even, in light of, nothing should stop us from getting the information that we requested, not even the orientation. So I just want to make it clear that if the point of the question was to show that we are, we're not doing our end to get the information, it's just simply not true.
We are past the 3 minutes, but if you want to give a follow-up or a response, and then we'll continue to the next member of the public.
Perfect, I'd like to. Because I mentioned that I spoke with Matt, and I've spoken with Matt quite a bit. And I'm not sure what was communicated or what wasn't. But the orientation that I'm talking about has nothing to do with the correctional facility at all. It's orientation that could have been done at any point. But from June through May could have been done. So I'm asking that question because I have heard that it is the Commissioner of Corrections that's the roadblock, but there are some things that could have been done to help complete the orientation. So that's why I asked the question.
Thank you. Okay, Tom. I do want to, or I will pass it to Tom and Pam, but I do think that we should get to other members of the public relatively soon. But Tom?
Sir, with all respect, we've never been given any opportunity. We've never been presented any options. Nothing has been going our way. We keep asking, we keep requesting, we keep showing our enthusiasm, but there has been nothing coming back to us that allows us to meet your expectations, your responsibilities, and our duties. So it's not an aspect that we aren't ready. Somebody on the other side is not ready, and that's where we are.
Okay, I really would like to just make one other statement, and you can move on.
I'm actually gonna pass it to Pam.
Yes, again, I think there's possibly a huge communication issue here because we have had some training. We had HIPAA training, we had confidentiality training. And I've drawn a blank on everything that we've done, but it's not like we haven't tried. When training has been offered to us, we have done it.
Okay, thanks. Can I jump in?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Director Coyle. Thank you for coming to our meeting. We are going to move on to the next member of the public. But I do just want to say really quickly, if anyone wants to ensure that there's not anything lost in communication, you can CC myself or any members of the board on communications that relate to the board, and that might help kind of streamline things. But thank you for coming to the meeting. You're welcome to any of our meetings. The next person I saw was Rhonda, who has spoken at our meetings before. Thanks for coming back, Rhonda.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be back. I am a little disheartened, though, to hear that the commission is not getting this the cooperation. I'll just put it like that. I'm trying to be nice in order to fulfill their obligations or the what they were required to do. And it is a little disheartening to see that your frustration, and believe me, I get it, but how can we get so frustrated that we throw up our hands, but we expect those that are suffering the most to not give up? And so I guess I'm a diehard and I fight to the finish. I understand when the road gets rough, but they told me when the road gets tough, the tough get going. And so I don't know. I'm just a little upset about that. I'm upset about the whole, the way things are being handled. It should not take a year for this to, come some progress to be made. And I don't like the fact that somebody would, be pointing fingers at each other. I just want, as a member of the public, to get it done. People are suffering. Lives have been lost already. They will continue to be lost unless something is done. And if this is not important to all of the people to be, all of the elected officials, all of the people who are responsible for, getting this work done, then, shame on us. And that's it.
Thank you, Rhonda, for speaking and for coming back to our meetings. And it's I think it's clear to all of us how important this is to you. I think we can hear it in your voice, how important this is and how heartbreaking it is that this is the way that things have gone, and that during all of this time, hundreds of people are suffering inside of the CJC. That also weighs heavy on my heart. And to answer your question a little bit, or just offer my comment, I think that this work is very difficult and it's very stressful. Every time that I've gone to the facility to try and visit, I mean, my heart's racing and I'm there for hours. I think that we've all been through a lot. And of course, it doesn't compare to what other people are going through when they suffer inside the facility. I don't think the suffering needs to be compared. And I'm not saying that that's what you're doing whatsoever. I also think that this work is something that people who are committed continue in many parts of their lives. And if they find that maybe being on this board is not an effective way to do that, I know that they continue this work outside of the board. And I will say for myself, I've said before that I will stay as long as I can. I can't say that I've never considered that after my term ends in a year that maybe I step back and let other people who have some more resiliency continue the fight while I continue the fight in the streets or in the community. But I do completely see what you're saying. And I think that many of us, if not all of us, no, I will say all of us want better for the community. And we are frustrated and at a loss for how to actually realize those goals. But I do think that with our recent 2 motions, we hope that we can take a step in the right direction and do anything that we can. And I appreciate you coming to these meetings. Other board members, comments?
Thank you again for your participation.
As always, thank you.
All right, the next person I saw was Keith. You've got 3 minutes. Just a reminder, you have 2 minutes, you have 1 minute. Oh no, Keith, we can't hear you for some reason. You're not on mute, but I see you have headphones in.
How
Maybe
about now? Is this better?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sorry. So this is the first of your meetings that I was able to attend, and I'm sorry I'm outside. I have, however, attended almost every meeting of the Police Civilian Oversight Board since its creation, and I helped with the original creation of that board. There were many times where I was the only member of the public in their meetings. And I want to just say to your board that I am so encouraged by you, by the conversations I've heard just while joining the public portion today, as well as the things I've seen you and how you're engaging in the press and in the public. You are a completely different board than that other board, and you have actually done what we intended our board members to do when we first put out a call for that police oversight board. You actually care. So many of those people, not to disparage, well, to disparage some of them, do not care about police oversight at all, and were only put on that board because they were looking for a way to get involved in the community. And it's really warmed my heart to see how much the Jail Facilities Oversight Board has actually taken your charge and has been willing to do the work. And so I understand the desire to resign if you're not seeing things get done. But at the same time, I do want to say that I fear you would not be replaced by people who actually care about those individuals who are locked in the cages in downtown. And so I ask you to do what you can while you still can. And if you find that you can't get anything done, I understand. But also know that it is very unlikely that we have people like you individuals on a board in St. Louis City. And so I want to just raise that, because for years and years, for the Police Oversight Board, we've had almost no one who cares as much as what I've seen all of you care. And so I want to just lift up, I know that this work is hard. As an outsider, I can tell. And also, I know that it's important. as someone who has relied on these boards to file complaints, even when they haven't been found out to my liking, I still know that they are important. And so I thank you all for the work you're doing. It really means a lot to me to be able to see people do this work who care about it. Thank you.
Thanks for your comment, Keith, and thank you for coming. I actually don't follow the Civilian Oversight Board for the police too closely, so I'm sorry to hear your reflections on their participation. I can't confirm or deny that. I really don't know. But thank you for the encouragement. And yeah, I have thought about how wonderful it is that the people on this board were appointed and actually like passed the vote to get on this board. Sometimes I am still surprised that we all made it on here, considering how passionate we are versus how things, I guess, how things have been going, which is maybe why I was so surprised that things went this way. But yeah, those are just my initial thoughts on what you said. Other board members, I see Tom's hand.
Keith, I really appreciate what you said, and it's given me a lot of inspiration, and I feel a little more charged now. It really means a lot that somebody from outside does appreciate what we're doing, and just reemphasizing how important the work is. I can't thank you enough for what you said tonight.
I second that, Tom. Other board members?
Yeah, again, thank you for the words. It was I was very much on the precipice of tendering resignation, and this has emboldened me a bit. Thank you.
Thanks, James. I also wanted to mention, Keith, that you brought up something that I've also thought about, which is the low amount of public engagement that these meetings get. And I think it definitely does not reflect that the public does not care about these issues. I think it reflects, one, that you just lose a lot of public trust and public enthusiasm when boards like these go on for months and months and then years and years without action that genuinely, literally, practically improves one person's life in St. Louis. I think that's the same thing that discourages us at times from staying on the board, is because we all came here to improve people's lives, period. And it's tough to look back at our work for the last year and think, whose life did I improve? Yeah, I think for me, that's the toughest part. But I also think that thinking about resigning is just kind of part of this. Like, it's not necessarily the same thing as like genuinely considering it. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes that's where the mind goes to cope with the movement. I don't know. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? Otherwise, we will maybe talk about scheduling another meeting, and then we'll take a motion to adjourn. Oh, also, I think there could be a better system for notifying people of these meetings, like all public meetings. Like if they could, you know how they do those things where it's like text DFOB to 31465 and you'll get a notification of every meeting. That's just a thought. But anyways, we talked about another meeting at the end of May. Is that still something we'd like to do, Pam?
Since we have the public safety director with us, and I appreciate him taking the time to do that and join us, I wonder if we could work with him to schedule the next meeting so that he could be there and we could have a longer discussion with him.
That's genius.
Yeah, I mean, I would just appreciate that. I appreciate him being here. I know we kind of came back at him, but not our intention. And anything we can do to work with him to clarify things and remove barriers would just be awesome.
It's a great idea, Pam. Director Coyle, are you here with us? Did you
Yes,
hear?
I am.
Did you hear parents' comment, or do you want
I
us to
did not.
restate?
Can it be repeated? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
I just suggested, one, that I appreciate you being here with us tonight and taking the interest to be here. And the conversation was cut short. And as we discuss our next meeting, I suggested that we schedule our next meeting so that you could be there and we could have a longer discussion. Because anything that we can do to remove what we see as barriers would be awesome. And, give you a chance to clarify your expectations of us. Just to have a more robust, good discussion.
I appreciate that. I would love to be there. I think the work that you guys are doing are important. I think other things are important as well. The orientation is not mine. That was Matt Brumman's orientation, and those topics are Matt Brumman's. And so I've had a number of conversations about this board, and I would love to be there because evidently there's a communications issue. Okay, so if I'm invited, I will show up.
Are there days that work better for you than others? We usually meet at around like 5 to 6:30. We usually do the fourth Monday. Does that work for you?
I will make it work. If I can't, I'll notify you in advance.
Okay, well, other board members I'm actually not sure what the fourth Monday is.
I thought we were the second Monday.
Are we?
Mhm.
Could be.
Yes, I think I recall, Chair, that there was a discussion about two dates, first week of June, because the fourth Monday is a holiday.
2 dates the first week of June.
I can't recall offhand, but they should be reflected in the minutes.
That's a good. I do vaguely remember that, but I also don't remember which the 2 dates were.
Let's
Does
see,
anyone
is
know?
somebody here is there a staff person here that has a copy of the minutes with them?
The minutes.
The minutes of that meeting where the dates were discussed. And I'm wanting to say June 2nd or June 5th, and it was going to be contingent upon somebody's availability.
I can pull it up.
Was it the June 5th and
I
June
think-
12th? I'm
I think it
told.
was the 5th.
Okay.
Okay, the 5th. So Director Coyle, are you available for the 5th at 5 p.m.? June 5th?
Can I have 1 second?
Sure.
June 5th. Oh, my schedule's open. I'm available.
Okay, we will plan for the 5th, June 5th at 5 p.m. as our next meeting. And then is there a motion to adjourn, or are we good?
I got one more comment.
Sure.
Yeah, all respect Interim Director Coyle. Yeah, I just want to say that we've tried to communicate outside of Matt several times from this board, and we still have not went far. So I don't, because Matt is not here to talk about those communication faux pas. I want to be super clear that there's been so many opportunities for us to get communication from the administration. We've asked the administration to come speak to us. We've asked Jennifer Clemens to come speak to us, Abdul to come speak with us. There's been no, and the mayor did not show up. So I just want to be super clear that we're not just dealing with a small communication issue, because we have made the opportunities to be communicated with and to communicate back, and it has been denied. So much respect. Thank you so much for coming, truly. And thank you for coming to the meeting on June 5th. I really appreciate that. And at the same time, what's in front of us is that we need to do what we need to do. And I don't think an orientation is what's the main barrier for us doing that.
Thank you, Mike. I would second that, Mike, in that yeah, just emphasizing that Matt has been absolutely great as a supporter of the board. He's been great at, I would say, enhancing the communication when I don't get communication from other members of the city. And yeah, he's been awesome. I miss him already. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, James Daw moves to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second from Ornitha Lewis Walls. We'll go with a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. The motion passes. Thank you all for coming. See you again June 5th at 5 p.m.
Right.
Right.
Have a nice holiday, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Oh, yes.